Dale!
What?
We interrupt your doom scrolling to bring you an important Shuntcasting announcement. In this week's BattleBots, we had a salty fish, a dead owl, and there was kinky gymnastics in the battle box.
So a normal week for us then?
Yeah, pretty much. Straight into the fights, I think, because, oh my goodness, we had some fights this episode.
First of all, we've got Shatter versus Ghost Raptor.
Can I start off by saying the obvious thing? Because at the start of the fight, Shatter shat itself. You knew I literally said that out loud. First fight of the night, I'm sat there ready to go, and it shat itself.
Not wrong. I mean, what happened there? I mean, it wasn't even the armor; it was just the shiny stuff.
Shiny stuff fell off. Not the front. The shiny stuff fell off.
Yes. Oh dear, that was weird.
This was Ghost Raptor's fight to lose, and I think really disappointing for Ghost Raptor. I mean, Shatter got some good hits in. Whether it was doing loads of damage, I don't know, because you know how it goes. Hammers are terrible, and no one should build them, right, Al? The spinner stopped fairly early on.
Yeah, not ideal.
I'll give credit to Shatter's hammer for not coming off at that, because that was impressive.
Yeah.
But then I feel like, even though the spinner went for Ghost Raptor was still in this. It still had its lifter. It was bullying Shatter around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then it decided it was going to have a little smoke and die.
Yeah, pretty much. Can't argue with that.
Something to do with their drive, because they smoked and then they stopped moving.
Yeah, unfortunate, really.
And so with no movement, Ghost Raptor got counted out and the win went to Shatter after shatting itself.
What a load of shit. Anyway,
we'll move on to Ribbot versus Tracer. I think Tracer is a good example of why a newbie should not smack talk upon arrival, because can you imagine if I'd done that and then what happened to Rainbow? It's so bad, because how long was it? It wasn't that long until they were KO'd by Ribbot, and it was such a lackluster way to go as well. Just on your back, no Shreemek, done.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, I almost thought they were French for a minute after they started eating her frog legs, taking the wheel off, the tyres.
I thought that Tracer wanted to turn Ribbot into escargot, but Ribbot said escarno. That's such a middle class joke. I'm so sorry.
Anyway.
I can't really say much more about this fight.
Once they were upside down, Ribbot just turned into a proper frog and started eating a little fly in a mini-bot.
That was funny. The mini-bot exploded. And it went back for more as well. It shattered it once and then went, I'm going to finish the job. Yes.
Have a proper munch on it.
Although after the smack talk, I'm disappointed that fight was over so quickly. My robot's great. My robot's great.
It looked nice while it worked.
It did. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Nice looking bot.
Upside down is useless.
Shame about the Shreemek.
Yes.
But there we go. We'll move on to Kraken versus Black Dragon. How salty are you, Dale?
I'm not that salty. I'll be honest. I'm a bit saltier about the other one later on, but we'll move on to that when we get to it. But I did want to know what time they had this fight, because I feel like it should have been around about 2:30. Oh dear, that's one for Matt.
Oh, Matt would appreciate that, to be fair. No, I'm quite salty. I mean, in terms of the rules, the decision was fair, because BattleBots has changed the judging criteria so that damage counts for more points. And my own personal feelings about that, it's a bit unfair, really, because it really doesn't help the control bots or stuff like that. It really favors the spinners. But there we go. According to the rules, yes, Black Dragon does take the win. But I'm salty about the fact that Kraken dominated and controlled that fight for me. And the damage caused to it was only a tooth. How has Kraken lost for only losing a tooth?
Yeah, I did find, like I say, I would have given it to Kraken myself, but I can sort of understand it looked more damaged, I'd say, because only a belt from Black Dragon really looked like it got damaged. And maybe, judging at the time, I can understand that maybe they didn't really see much damage and they thought, well, the damage counted, so it counted more. But even so, I mean, I would have given it because of the control. It made more sense to give it to Kraken anyway, but that's just me.
Matt Spurk has now joined the grumpy judges' decision ranks along with Al Kindle, and Al Kindle will welcome him to those ranks with open arms. Although I've spoken to Matt and he's not that salty about it, actually. In fact, he was in rather good spirits, and because it's Dad Joke December, he decided to provide me with his finest dad joke.
How do you know when your drivetrain is going bad? It takes a turn for the worse.
Oh, dear.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
Yes. Terrible, we love it.
We did. Who's next?
It's Huge versus Mammoth.
Oh my God, this fight.
Yes, I had one quick thing about before the fight bit with Chris Rose, because he was saying about bot puberty. I just wondered why he didn't say puberty.
Oh, of course you did, though.
Dear. Yes.
So
anyway,
I feel like this fight should come with a disclaimer that we don't kink shame here on Shunt Posting, and that there was some kinky stuff going on between Mammoth and Huge in the battle box. There was intertwining, there was cartwheeling, there was heavy petting and lots of fondling and lots of grabbing and cuddling, and I must admit, I love both robots to death. I really do. Huge is one of my favorite robots, and as a fellow elephant, of course I love Mammoth, and I love both for how ridiculous they look. And so this matchup was this is an absolute dream matchup for me. And what's great about it is that it lived up to being the dream match I hoped it would be. It was everything I wanted it to be and more. It was, I think, hands down, it's got to be the most ridiculous fight we have ever seen on BattleBots.
Yeah, I had a smile on my face the whole time. It was just ridiculous nonsense. Because you wouldn't think that these two are the biggest robots by the way they were bouncing around and doing all the sorts of stuff they were doing. And it's just unfortunate for Huge getting stuck in the end, but the way it goes.
I must admit, I wouldn't have given it to Mammoth initially, but what a win for Mammoth, though. Like I said, I love both robots. This was a dream matchup, and I didn't care who won, in all honesty.
Oh, yeah.
But I am genuinely delighted for Mammoth. I think because Mammoth was not the favoured bot to win in this fight.
I can see that, yeah. I don't think a lot of people probably thought Mammoth. They probably thought Huge for the proper damaging weapon, I'd imagine. But yeah, but like I say, like you mentioned, I don't really care who wins. I just want to see robots fight, and if it amuses me, then all the better for it.
This is true, and this fight was certainly a source of amusement and then some. Right.
So next fight, we got Extinguisher versus Perfect Phoenix.
Perfect Phoenix got a perfect KO.
Oh dear.
Also, don't abbreviate Perfect Phoenix when typing. That's a bad idea.
I did, and I have. So, no.
I was delighted to see Tyler on BattleBots. I was delighted to meet him when he arrived at season 1 of BuggleBots.
Yes.
I knew of his reputation, and goodness, he lived up to his reputation on BuggleBots because he stomped the competition on BuggleBots. So I was expecting good things from him, and I love that BattleBots, really bigged up. He's a smart kid. He's been a sort of protege of Ray Billings, and he had his friend with him who was another Tombstone child. So I like, some people called them together the Sons of Tombstone, and I quite like that. That was nice. Not a very good outing for Extinguisher, though, and although great win for Tyler, but probably not that convincing for the selection committee at this point, though, because it was a one-hit KO, and Extinguisher just died. I don't know what happened to them. I've not seen anything on Facebook yet to explain why they only took one hit and then balked. But there we go. Tyler got a one-hit wonder on him, and that was all over.
Yeah, there's not much to add. It was that short. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting of one hits. If they're going to lose after one hit, I'd rather see, bits and pieces all over the arena. But just one of those unfortunate ones where it's an internal thing, and yeah.
We'll look forward to seeing more of Tyler later on in the season. Is the next fight the one you're quite salty about by any chance?
More than before, yes.
Okay, because I am way saltier about Kraken than I am about the Witch Doctor Hydra decision. But okay, amuse me. Go on.
Well, no, first of all, I want to say I want a Witch Doctor mask. They were quite nice.
They were.
Yes. And I was a little bit confused as well during this fight, because was it Voodoo or Floodoo? So many flips. Yeah, and it's nice to see the Fog of War making a comeback.
Oh, it did, didn't it? It was sort of, am I on Robot Wars here again?
Yes. So the actual main, the main part of what we're talking about is
The main fight, though,
oh
what
yeah,
a slugfest! This was textbook back and forth, and it was brilliant. We had flips from Hydra and hits with a spinner from Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor was going up in the air like several times,
yeah,
and then there was smoke and fire, and then there was the awkward bit where it's like, is Hydra dead? Is it no? Is it yes no? And then there's salty bits about whether Hydra should have been counted out or not. And the fight went the full 3 minutes, and what a fight it was that went the full 3 minutes. But of course, this inevitably lands it in the hands of the judges, and the judges went for Hydra.
yes. And like I say, this is where, because like the way I see it, if I try and make it between you and me for a minute, right? You punch me in the arm, I can still run away. If I stamp you on the foot and you can't walk, I win the fight. That's
Okay.
how I look at it, basically. And Hydra, for all intents and purposes, didn't move near the end. So, even though Witch Doctor wasn't in the best of shape, it was moving and it was doing its thing.
I wasn't sure about the whole counting out thing. It moved
Yeah.
a bit, and then it was like it.
But
I thought they were delayed in counting them
yeah,
out to start with. They should have started the countdown earlier.
yeah. But like at least Witch Doctor didn't stop moving. So to me that was more dominant, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And the actual damage in itself, even though it looked bad with the smoke and the wobbly weapon and all whatever else it was, like as far as I'm concerned, they were winning in my head.
It's one of those examples, I think, where, because they always say that if a fight goes to the judges, the last 30 seconds are the most important, and that's what really makes the impression on the judges.
Yeah.
That
The
was
30
not
that
the
actually
case in
helped.
this fight, was it? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go by that, Hydra was limping at the end.
Yeah.
Maybe it
Anything
needed a
actually
cup of
adds to the
tea
case.
to be rehydrated. I'm sorry.
Not the time for jokes right now. I'm salty.
All right, I'm sorry.
Oh dear. No, but yeah, I'm just saying it just seemed to be that kind of thing for me compared to earlier with Kraken. It's like I can understand why they did it that way, but this one I really don't get it at all because Hydra was basically not moving, and even if you say at the end it would only by a few seconds, that Witch Doctor were still moving, so I just don't get it.
This is true, but as Andrea lately points out, sometimes Witch Doctor does have a bit of a rough start to the season and
Oh
then
yeah,
comes
but
back to kick bot. So this does not make me lose faith in Witch Doctor for the nut.
oh no, of course it was just this one fight that's just a bit judging her wrong.
I mean, apart from the fact that we all know Rusty's going to take the nut anyway, but
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, Witch Doctor going to get a good second place, but you never know.
Now, as you've noticed, we missed out Hijinks versus Claw Viper, and that's because we have a heckin' badass in the form of Jen Herchenroeder on the show. Hey, Jen!
Hi.
How you doing?
How's it going? Doing all right. It's raining in California, so feeling pretty good.
Does it
Nothing is
rain in
literally or
California?
figuratively on fire.
That's good. California has been on fire a lot this year.
It's been yeah.
So let's distract your attention away from fires and talk about BattleBots. Your rather lovely, actually, nay, fabulous robot took on
Thank
the
you.
Wedgie Boy Claw Viper. It didn't go according to plan for you, though.
I'd say some things went according to plan so well that I have them on like slow-mo repeat, and then some things did not go according to plan.
Okay, what went well? Let's start there.
All right. One of the reasons why folks have been asking why did we bother keeping the design a secret, because there are other sort of wedgie robots in the field. There are other horizontal spinners. My favorite Valkyrie and Tombstone already exist. So like, why keep this a secret if people can already build defenses against these robots? And what we were really hoping to do was catch some of the regular teams sort of off guard by having a very wide spinner and a really good wedge. And one of the things that went right, and like we'd even joked that the funniest thing that could possibly happen is A robot runs at us. We show them our tail feathers, and then they ramp over us and land on our weapon. And Zach Lytle, when I told him this, he was like, "That's never going to happen." And then it happened in the first fight. I was like, "Yes, that's what I wanted. That was the plan."
Amazing.
So that worked perfectly. So the tail is not just hanging out there. It is a defense and offense object. And I think Orion used it very well in the first fight.
His driving was impeccable, but I expect no less from Orion.
He is just an outstanding driver.
Right.
I'd say, I think, I'm not sure if it was Chris or Kenny, one said he's one of the best drivers in the field. They're absolutely right. He is definitely a top-tier driver. There's no doubt.
I'd agree. Why the choice of undercutter as opposed to an overhead? Because, a lot of people in the horizontal world favour the overhead over the undercutter. So what was the design motivation with that?
Well, we've had a couple of... How do I put this? So Russ Sparrow made a series of little undercutters. They're Dark Saber, Dark Slayer. One of the reasons why I, in particular, wanted to go with an undercutter is I feel like there is something to be said for going under the other robot where you can potentially get access to their tires or potentially get access to a part of the robot that they may not have been expecting a hit on. I really like the way that Valkyrie goes weapon first into fights. I really like the way that Tombstone delivers very large damage. We wanted the robot to actually be accepted by BattleBots, so we had to build something that was underrepresented in the field, but actually had the potential and capacity to cut through a field of vertical spinners, of which there are many, to be a really effective robot and also look cool. Like, we're not going to build a vertical spinner because it's not going to get in, and even if it did get in, it would just be another vertical spinner. So what can we do that counters the meta? What can we do to break that up? Like, I just want a robot that's going to mess up vertical spinners. That's my goal. And I wanted to build either a flipper or an undercutter, because I feel like the undercutter has... I feel like the one advantage you can get on the undercutter that you don't get on the overhead is if you get a good hit on their body, a good body shot, they move away from you. If you get a good hit on the wheel, you potentially take the wheel out right away.
You just want to eat wheels. That's what it is. Admit it.
I'm coming for Rara. I'm going to try to...
You've got Rara-itis.
As the eater of... Which I noticed in the Bloodsport versus Scorpios fight. Scorpios was reasonably well armored up top against Bloodsport. It worked out in favor of Bloodsport. I think people are figuring out how to armor against different kinds of horizontal spinners, and they've been around for a long enough time that there's a lot of ways to counter this.
What was it that killed in the end?
I'm going to take a sip of my coffee before I answer that. Hold on one second.
Preparation. That's the shit.
So what had happened was, this was so disappointing. So Orion's been building robots even longer than I have, and in a lot of ways I lean on his expertise. He's fantastic. And one thing that we both agree on is the drive is the most critical system. There's just no way around that. If your weapon fails, that will suck. That's a bad day for you. But you could still potentially eke out a victory if your drive is still running and you can still do something with your robot. So we worked on the drive first. We brought different components. We brought the controllers and the motors up to my workshop. We took old Electric Boogaloo and put the new robot motor stuff on Electric Boogaloo and boogied that around the parking lot. That was our first motor test. Then when I had the chassis assembled, we brought that back and put the new motor stuff in the new chassis, moved that around. We did a lot of development on that. We deleted an entire system out of the robot. The belts on the drive were taken out. A different gearbox was put in. All the pieces that hold all of that together are all very custom to the robot. We worked very hard on that drive, gosh darn it. And between March and August, we did a bunch of drive tests, like out in the parking lot of the hackerspace. I was absolutely convinced that we had the drive locked down. But the one test you just cannot do in a hackerspace parking lot is spinning your weapon all the way up and then running into something. You cannot do a full spin-up impact test in a parking lot. It's just not safe.
Right.
We can't even really do it in the test box. They would prefer us to not slam a 70-pound steel bar to the wall at 200 miles an hour. They would prefer to take the test box home with them at the end of the day.
Yeah, don't do a
Yeah.
rusty. And yeah,
Right. Don't. So when we get into the fight, things are going well, and Orion is maneuvering the robot well, and then we notice that one of the drives is not doing so great. And then there's an unstick that you can't see in the fight that happens, and then they reset and we go again. And by that time, the robot had been limping a little bit. When we opened the gearboxes after the fight, the gearboxes were just crunchy. On one side, we had sheared the sun gear off, and on the other, we had crunched one of the planets. It was just broken. There's pieces of metal. So what happened that we were surprised about was when Tombstone makes a good big hit against another robot, Tombstone usually flies away from that robot.
Mhm.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and every impact has an equal and opposite push. So we assumed that the wheels that we had built would behave in the same way. So if we take a big hit, the weapon stack is protected from a lot of that energy coming back into the weapon because there's a clamp clutch on the top of the weapon stack. The wheels were not protected in that way because we assumed the robot would move. We thought we would throw ourselves backward. And what was really surprising is that the robot seemed to want to plant. The wheels gripped the floor really well, and they didn't. It doesn't want to backdrive. It doesn't want to do anything. So it would kind of sit there, and then all that energy from the big hit would go into the wheels and then into the gearboxes and make them very sad. I am not disappointed with how the robot performed for its first time out. I think we were going to learn something that day.
Yeah, I mean, your drive and your weapon worked. I mean, that's a good outing.
Yeah!
Good outing.
That's cool. And, and Claw Viper with 200 pounds of downforce still peeled himself off the floor and launched over our wedge, and that was just great
Right?
for me. It's just a great moment.
Awesome. Right, before we dive into the fan and builder questions, just going to quickly mention time of recording is Sunday the 13th of December, and in 2 days a little birdie tells me it's your birthday.
It is.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday to
you.
you.
Happy birthday to Alan.
So
Oh,
happy
you're so
birthday
sweet.
from Shunt Posting.
Thank you.
Right, first up, Matt Hedger asks, if you had to name a robot based on a pun of a bot builder's name, what would it be?
Oh gosh, think of puns on the fly.
Ray Bonkings is taken. That's mine.
That's great. God, you're so good at this. Oh, Ray Bonkings, that's wonderful.
Or you could also have Ray Chillings.
Ooh.
Or Thrillings. Would you take Maul Ventimiglia over Ray Bonkings?
Oh, Ventimiglia, that's great.
Yes, I can't
like
beat that. Ricky Williams from Mammoth, he said about the high jonks meme. He said it was quality, and did you like it too?
I really enjoyed it actually. That was actually some really good photoshopping. Well, you just plunked my head directly onto that body, and it looks like me.
It's one of those moments where I go, "Oh, Dale," but it's brilliant.
It's perfect.
And on a similar silly note, Ian Miller would like you to rate his joke. It goes like this: what makes Hijinx's blade spin? A heckin' motor!
Ah! That's pretty good.
Oh dear. Tess McCraw asks, when hijinks jackets?
It's interesting. On the one hand, I think that's a great idea, and I totally want to do it. And I happen to be friends with a couple of people who are actually good at fashion. Elaine Sun and Sasha Cardinal Weinberg in California. And part of me is tempted to be like, hey, we could do a fashion, like we could make a jacket. The team jackets are all basically party armor, and the idea is you will do your own thing, and like what kind of unifies you, if you will, is like the back patch, or like there's one patch that kind of brings you all together. But the team jackets are like, my jacket was a $7 thrift store jacket, kid you not. And I think Maddie maybe spent $5 or $10 on her denim jacket. Orion got a nice jacket because he's, he's classy like that. But everyone on the team, all of the pins and patches, these are all things like from our personal collection. They're all reflections of art and music and robots and other stuff that we like. So the jackets are kind of they're a personal statement. They're a personal like art object.
So make your own.
anyone can make their own hijinks jacket. You can make your own hijinks jacket with the jacket you already have.
Although listeners can also get, if you're a fan of Animal Crossing, or should I say, if you're a player of Animal Crossing, go on BattleBots group and search Animal Crossing, and you will see that you can get Hypershock and hijinks jackets on Animal Crossing, made by yours truly. Woo! Okay, Mary Catherine Carr has 2 questions for you. Firstly, what is Hijinks' ultimate robot girl gang?
Hijinks Ultimate Robot Girl Gang? Oh, crap.
I want to be in this gang.
I think you should be.
Hell yeah.
I think you were like you were definitely a key feature in. I don't know if you're aware of this. You must be, but like you were definitely a ray of sunshine in the world of robots. Like sometimes people take everything way too seriously, and then you will show up with a joke, and like you can't help but love your day because they're fun. Robots should be fun. How many people
Zoe?
are in my robot girl gang?
It doesn't specify, so knock yourself out. Zoe? What about Zoe?
Oh yeah, well we gotta have
for the engineering porn.
Yes, Zoe's so good. Andrea Galately, because she's wholesome. She's so wholesome.
Right.
You gotta have Amanda Fowler. Oh my god.
And Leanne.
Yeah, because Leanne's so fierce.
Yes.
She's like, she's one of those people like, I'm glad we're friends because I think, whew. She ever give you like a death stare, man. Anyway.
She could be like the chief bodyguard, right? Don't piss us off because we have a Leanne, right?
She's a sharp intellect and she's a fierce competitor. Like, can't go wrong.
Right.
There's so many new faces now too.
I think we'll nick all the cool ladies, and what you could also do is put it out there that if anybody wants to join the cool robot girl gang, they're welcome to join. You just got to be girl.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yep.
Oh, Orion Bash. Sorry, I'm back on the puns.
Amazing.
Next question from Adam Matthew Peckett. Is there a BattleBots legend that you'd really like to face?
There are a few, actually. There are robots that I would like to face because I think that they would be genuine challenges and they would be genuinely like difficult, epic matches. There are robots that I would like to face because I think it would be funny.
Let's do that first. That's for me. That's the most important. Who's the fun one?
Oh, I think Mammoth would be very fun. I have no idea what Mammoth would even do. Like, I think it would probably. I'm feeling like, well, time to add some claw extensions and see if we can throw a bird in the sky. So I think that would just be a fun fight because Ricky would pull something, you know?
Yeah.
But huge fight was amazing.
Oh, it was.
We
just gushed over it, honestly. Well, what about the most challenging?
I honestly want to fight Paul Ventimiglia and Bite Force.
Why not?
I mean,
and Biteful, so you want to fight him personally as well as the robot.
Well, you got it. So he's developing a new robot now, and I can't wait to see what it is. But Paul Ventimiglia is all by himself a really good engineer and a really good driver, and his driving style and Orion's driving style are actually kind of similar, where they will. I've made the joke a lot about how Orion is like the Iceman to my Maverick, and like the reason that he's driving is because I drive with my full range of emotions available. Like I drive cars and RC vehicles and robots in the same kind of way. I'm an aggressive and reactive driver, and Orion is a thoughtful and intelligent driver. And he will hold back. He will see what the opponent is doing. He will wait for a good hit. And Paul is the master of being a conservative driver who will let you come to him and then make precision hits. I think going up against Paul would be, for me personally, that would be a big challenge because it's like playing chess against a chess master. He's already thought through what you're going to do, and he's waiting for you to do it.
Right. My good pal Rara from the Bonk Crew has 2 questions for you. Why the capital J in hijinks?
So the name hijinks came, I don't know, it came to us in a dream. It actually came from like a super caffeine-fueled 2-day idea session. It's a little bit of marketing. The reason why hijinks isn't spelled with a CKS is because we don't, when you Google us, we want you to find us. The capital J, it's stylistic. Part of it is because the whole logo is kind of capitals, except for the 2 I's are actually lowercase, and that was so I could put stars on them because I am a child and I wanted to.
Awesome. She also would like to know, Anne, how does it feel to radiate more coolness and swagger than even Hypershock?
So here's the truth. I have never been cool in my entire life. I am a mega dork. The fact that people think that I'm cool now is like, really? And I totally blow my own cover whenever this conversation comes up. It's like, how are you so cool? And I'm like, am I? Really? Thanks so much. Here's what I think it is. I think it is because I am more now than ever before being myself, and I think there's a coolness in authenticity. I think when you are presenting yourself like truly, but I do think that the coolness is not. I think it's not something you can replicate. It's ineffable. It's just being who you are and doing it proudly. And I think people resonate when they see authenticity.
Yes, I agree with that.
Oh, Chesley, ouch. Sorry, I'm back on puns.
Oh, God.
Sorry, you can't make me do puns and then expect me to just leave them alone. Sorry. Next question. Ty Daly from Subpar Robot Wars has got a couple, actually. What inspired the owl design?
Oh, so yeah, I'm gonna again like direct people to go follow us on like Facebook and Instagram because we've got some renders up. So I think it's no secret now that Hijinks was supposed to be the new Scorpios. Like it was just supposed to be the next iteration on that robot, but BattleBots really wanted to keep Scorpios as it is. It's a top attack robot, for reasons. So we had a limited amount of time to retheme it. We want something that was really different from everything else in the field. And I was wearing this T-shirt that had a synthwave owl on it that another artist had made. I think it's up on one of the T-shirt websites, but it's like owl, yeah, and it's this space owl with like 80s synth colors, and it doesn't make any sense, but it's very delightful. And we just kept coming back to that. I've always loved owls. They're kind of they're kind of special for me, so it felt like a good personal choice too, like something that I could truly lean into and dedicate a lot of time to, because robots take so many hundreds of hours. You want to build something that you really enjoy, and this came together for us really well.
It does look very cool, I have to say.
Thank you.
Next part of the questions, have you got a Shremic?
What's funny? The original renders show that I actually planned to put a self-rider in the tail. We always planned to be able to move upside down, but then the maneuverability of the robot inverted became a more critical issue. And Orion did a really fantastic job of packaging the central armor to be shorter than the height of the wheels, so that when we're upside down, we just keep driving.
Next question. Zoe Stevenson from Chomp asks, I noticed that attention was drawn to your art major and not your experience in fabrication, welding, etc. Was that of your choosing? If not, why was your technical experience not mentioned?
So I think this was a deliberate choice that BattleBots has made to remind people out in the world that you don't actually need a PhD in electrical engineering to build a BattleBot. The old field of competitors, when you see folks like Mark Satrakian and Christian Carlberg, Fawn Davis, those people are artists, and they're also technically able. I love to think that I occupy that same realm. I love to think that I can be in the same class with Fawn Davis and Mark Satrakian and Christian Carlberg and be an artist who is very technically able. And I think BattleBots made a sort of decision about how to present me that way to remind people that anyone can build a robot. This is for everyone, and that your background doesn't matter. It's your interest and your passion and your dedication that matter.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
Sam Taylor asks, if you were a shoe, what shoe would you be and why?
I am a steel-toed boot, because I get shit done.
And when you kick ass, it hurts.
Absolutely.
Shunt posting mod Chris Hart asks, if the rules of BattleBots change to allow a non-human driver, would you let drive Hijinks?
Oh gosh.
It's got to be something with thumbs.
Something with thumbs. A raccoon.
Raccoons would be quite smart, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because you don't want a platypus. That'd suck.
That would be difficult. I think the raccoon, you'd have to offer like food motivation. Be like, all right, take out the other robot and I'll give you cake. And then the raccoon would be like, okay.
Amazing. Right, Jen, it's time that we awarded the Good Hit Award. Would you like our suggestions first, or have you got a good hit award firmly implanted in your mind?
Oh, there's so many to choose from. I want to hear your suggestions.
Okay, we wrote down Hydra's flips because there were just so many good ones. We can't pin it down to a single one. Witch Doctor went flying. And we also nominated the entire huge mammoth fight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
After that, we were a bit lost. So if you've got any other suggestions, please do tell us. If not, you can pick one of those two if you like.
Yeah, Hydra v Witch Doctor. That was a heck of a thing to watch. I stan Witch Doctor. I thought they had it, but yeah, the big hits were amazing. I might have to go with that.
Congratulations, Hydra. You win the John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award for episode 2, as says Jen Herchenroeder.
Yay.
Right, quick little game of beat defeat judges. This is like Snog Marry Avoid, but less cringe and more robots. So obviously your robot is Hijinks. Your 3 opponents are Sporkinok, Hypershock, and Scorpios. I told you I was going to be mean, didn't I?
So what? It's
So
beat,
one of them
marry,
you
Snog?
beat, one of them defeats you, and one of them goes to the judges.
Oh gosh, let Hypershock go to the judges because they're gonna have a hard time, and let Sporkinok. They should beat us because Lilith she's worked so hard. She's earned some good wins, and then we would beat Scorpios just because love you Zach and Diana, but we want to win. We want to win something.
Amazing. Well, there you go. Hijinks gets defeated by Sporkinok, goes to the judges with Hypershock, and beats up Scorpios. She does love you, honestly, Zach and Diana. Honestly, she's just going to beat up your robot.
Yeah.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any shout outs or anything you want to do before we go?
I would do quick shout outs as ever to our beloved sponsors, Van Beber Brothers in Petaluma, California, P3D Creations in Florida, Integrated Motion System in Santa Clara. Those folks were fundamentally critical to us being able to build this robot at all. So thank you very, very much. And then also thank you Hypershock for everything, especially those custom drive shafts. And they're bent, but thank you. We did some damage. So yeah, and thanks to the fans as well. Thank you very much for watching and for being involved and for letting us do this for you. We're having a great time.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Right, seeing as Jen's left, I'm going to go and put the kettle on. Do you want one?
Yes, please.
Right, I'm back in a minute.
Hi, I'm here.
God, he was quick. Oh, are you here too, Rara?
Of course I am. I'm never leaving.
It's almost like Al Kindle likes metal and he likes being here.
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't you like to be here, Al?
Don't. He'll write a list.
Don't tell anyone.
Oh, he likes us, Rara.
I know. I can't believe it.
Shall we give him some songs to listen to?
I think so. Having him here means that we should throw songs at him. That's how the ritual goes.
This is how it works here on the Builders playlist. Okay, first up for you, Al. Behind the Bots host, Chris DeSico has suggested Hector's Hymn by Hammerfall. Here we go.
Hammerfall. Who doesn't like Hammerfall? Nuclear Blast artist, by the way. Funny story. I saw Hammerfall back before anybody had even heard of them, and I barely heard of them back in New Jersey in like 1998 or something crazy. I was like, what the hell are they doing here? But anyway, Hector's Hymn it's if you look up power metal, I think Hector's Hymn could be used as a definition of power metal.
Exactly what I would think as well.
It has the intro. It builds to the to the poppy chorus, it just grabs you. And hell, it says hammer high in the chorus. How could you not?
It's one of those songs that it's what you play just before going into the arena, right? Like, that is your psych up music for this playlist.
Right, it's something you would play in your headphones just like to pump you up before you're going to go in and get your ass kicked by Ray. I mean, it's brilliant.
Just a little bit of factoid information for the fans listening. Nuclear Blast is the record label which sponsors Blacksmith. How did you get involved with that, by the way? How did that happen? How did you get sponsored by a record label?
How we got sponsored by Nuclear Blast. It's a crazy story that goes back almost 20 years. I was going to this record show that was like a second Saturday record show in North Jersey at this fire hall. There was this guy named Dennis. He owns this company called Sentinel Steel Records. He sold imported metal that I couldn't get anywhere else, so I would go there once a month just to see him. We became pretty friendly. He eventually moved away up to Massachusetts, and I just kind of kept in touch with him through emails, and he does a mailing list and stuff like that. And when we first got accepted to BattleBots, I had always, some crazy sponsor, like a metal label, and Nuclear Blast is the metal label. If you're a metalhead, you know who Nuclear Blast is. I get asked about Nuclear Blast and comments about Nuclear Blast more than any other sponsor. And so what happened was I joined LinkedIn Premium. I was trying to find people that worked at Nuclear Blast. I was sending out emails left and right, and I couldn't get anyone to even respond to me to tell me no. So just on my email Dennis one day, I said, "Hey, Dennis, do you happen to know anyone at Nuclear Blast?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" I told him the story. I told him about BattleBots. Not even 24 hours later, I had the email from Gerardo, who is the label manager at Nuclear Blast. And
wow.
We ended up talking for a year because the next year we didn't have a show. Remember, that's when we got canceled from ABC. And so I was dealing with, chatting with Gerardo and Zell. And she's great, he's great, and they stayed interested. And then when season 3 came around, they were on board, and they've been the most awesome, engaged sponsor that you could ever have. And I've talked to them already, and they're already in for next season when we go back.
Amazing.
Wow, awesome.
More metal next season. Woohoo!
Exactly. And what could be better than bringing a Nuclear Blast song onto the playlist? Like, if this doesn't get on the playlist, I'll be surprised.
Shuntcast listeners, go and listen to the Behind the Bots episode with Al Kindle. And if you want the full uncompressed version of that story, go and check that out. So that leads me on to the question, Al. Does it make the Builders playlist?
Do you even have to ask me?
Yeah, I feel that was a bit of a silly one. Oh, well, there we go. Congratulations, Chris DeSico. Your suggestion of Hector's Hymn by Hammerfall is now on the Builders playlist.
All right, so next up, we're going to power into another one, and I think you may like this one too, Al. So Remy Crow RKS, sorry, I'm probably going to butcher that name, has suggested Bent and Broken by Battle Beast. Have a listen.
Battle Beast. So to continue with the Nuclear Blast theme, I discovered Battle Beast in one of the Nuclear Blast goodie boxes, and that is one of the benefits of being sponsored by Nuclear Blast is once in a while they send me a nice little package of goodies. And Battle Beast, Bringer of Pain was my first exposure to the Battle Beast, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. The Nora, the singer, is awesome, and it's a little proggy. It's not straight power metal, I'd say, but it's generally pretty hard hitting, and then the vocals are awesome. This actual song, Bent and Broken, I think lyrically it's perfect for bots. I mean, come on, it's bent and broken. And that's how our bots are usually after round 1 to the end.
Rara and I know nothing about that, do we, Rara?
Not at all. Nellie's never taken damage. Not at all.
No, never got her face smashed in.
Nope. Don't know what you mean.
Now, on the flip side, this song for me is a little slow. I tend to be a stickler. I do like faster stuff. I don't dislike this song. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and recommend another Battle Beast song.
I'll allow it.
And, it's a great title. It's called Bastard Son of Odin.
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic.
And it's about Odin, it's Thor, it's hammers. It's got a silly name. How could you not like it?
Okay, just for the listeners, we're going to play a little clip for them of that song right now. What did you think, Rara?
Yeah, that one hits, doesn't it? That one really hits.
I like it. Can I petition that actually both go on the playlist? Because with a name like Bent and Broken, I mean, come on, it can't not go on the playlist.
Sure, I mean, you need some quiet songs in the background too to help you recover.
Right.
Music to play after you've been beaten by Ray.
After you've been smashed in the face by Deep Six.
Exactly.
After a judge's decision, you need to relax.
Maybe we should also do a spin-off called the Builder's Chill List. Right?
I don't know. I feel like the Builder's playlist should encompass every part of what a builder does. So everything from when you're grinding and welding in the workshop, all the way up to the moment you're in the arena, all the way up to the moment where you're crying because all of your rage bridges have blown.
Al knows nothing about that.
Hi, Charles.
Hi, Charles. For all your rage bridge needs, contact Charles Guan.
Not directly. He has a company.
Oh, no. Contact him directly. Just why not? I'm going to troll Charles. Why not? Go and contact Charles directly and tell him how much I love him.
I think over seasons I've helped put all his cats through college.
Amazing. Okay, right. So that means Remy Crow RKS, your song has indeed made the Builders playlist, and
with a bonus song.
With a bonus Battle Beast song. That's top marks for you there. Well done. And so finally, Al, we're going to take a little trip to the east. And this is shamelessly on my account, actually. I'm sorry, fellow builders and fans, but I love this band so much, so I've got to do this. I'm going to give you The Who.
Huh?
No, The Who.
Oh, The Who?
No, The Who.
Wait, which Who?
Not that Who.
Which Who, then?
This Who.
Oh, boy.
Can we all take a moment to breathe?
I love that song so much.
Oh, it's an experience, this song. Al, what do you think of Mongolian Hanu rock?
I have to admit that the song grew on me the second time I listened to it.
Okay.
As you know, I was introduced to The Who by you, and I had never heard of them before. I never heard of this type of music. And there's something, like we touched on earlier, I find it relaxing, actually. And I had it on at work while I was going through my usual stuff I hate at work. And it's very good background music. It's very different. It's I don't know if I'd call it metal. I don't know what to call it, but
they have named their own genre Hanu rock, but that's their own name that they've given to it.
Right, and I was going to follow that up with, I think that's what makes a great band is like when you can't put them in a category.
Yeah,
It's,
absolutely.
they've created their own genre. I obviously a totally different direction. Like a band like Ailstorm has taken something as silly as pirate metal, but done their own.
You are a
thing.
pirate. That's Kraken's theme song.
Their style is just so unique, and I say the same thing about the Who. It's very. I'm like people were walking by at work like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, dude, it's the Who. And they're like, that ain't the Who. And we went through the whole third base. And,
the argument that everyone who ever listens to them has to do
honestly,
at some point.
Every time I say it to people.
And I have to admit that they're growing on me. At first, I didn't like them, but they're growing on me.
Me and Sarah are both massive fans of The Who, adjusted by the fact that I think there's at least 2 The Who songs on the Nelly playlist. So I think we've got this and Sugan Esena and Wolf Totems. We've got 3.
3, yeah.
And honestly, like every single thing that The Who puts out, including their new Metallica cover, just fits with bots. I don't know. I can't describe it exactly like you said, Al. You can't really classify it. It has to be its own thing, but it's so good.
So I discovered this band at some point, I think about summer last year, and Obsession at first listen. And I found out in October last year that they were playing in Bristol, which is the city nearest to me, the day before my birthday. So as you can imagine, I've just become obsessed with this band, and they're playing the day before my birthday. So you can imagine my excitement levels were somewhere along the lines of squee. So I said to a person close to me that, hello, The Who, my birthday, tickets, please. And this person assured me they would get me tickets. And I spent 2 months believing that I was going to this gig, only to then find out that this person had in fact forgotten, and I did not have tickets. And by the time I found out, the entire UK tour had sold out. So, gutted isn't the word. Distraught. Rara, you remember?
Yeah. It was an experience.
I was crying.
There were words.
Swear words and other words. And I was so upset. And I spent the next 2 months until the gig just so upset, to the point where I had to actually unfollow The Who temporarily on Facebook, because seeing all the gig pictures was just, it was going to make me
FOMO.
cry.
It's major FOMO. It happens.
Oh, it was. And for me, I hadn't been to a gig in 5 years because of crippling anxiety. And so for me to get out and go to this gig was a really big deal to me. But so 5 days before the gig, in a last ditch attempt to find some way to go, I posted on my Facebook and said, any of my Bristol friends have a spare ticket to The Who? If you do, I'm your best friend. I will love you and hug you and buy you all the beers. And I got no responses for a couple of days. And then I hit that depression brick wall of, okay, I'm not going. And that sucked. And then of all the random things to happen, Arthur Chilcott, who is one of the builders of Mortis from Robot Wars and BattleBots,
and King of the Beards. Let's not dally about. King of the Beards.
And King of the Beards. Yes, indeed. So this guy is one of my childhood heroes, because I was like 10 years old watching Mortis on Robot Wars, and like, these guys are so cool to me. And now, as a 32-year-old adult, Arthur Chilcott saved my birthday because he had a friend who was going but then couldn't go because of ill health, and he set me up with her, and I got her ticket 3 days before the gig. 3 days. So Arthur Chilcott, my childhood Robot Wars hero, turned into my birthday saving adult hero and got me to this gig, and it was hands down the best gig of my life. I treated myself in a rare moment of luxury to the VIP meet and greet ticket, just because I wanted to shake the hands of the people who had just made this such incredible music, and I felt compelled to do so. And yeah, oh my God, hands down the best gig of my life. And I'm so happy that they've grown on you, Al, because if you hadn't put them in the Builders playlist, I was going to cry, and I was going to go and send Rara to beat you up.
I didn't say I was
big Ukrainian lady.
I didn't say I was going to approve them for the playlist.
Come on.
I'm kidding.
I don't want to fly to the US right now.
She will, and I'll come with her. I'm small enough to fit in her suitcase. I'll come with her, and so help me, Al. I will bring Nellie's hammer and bonk you with it.
That is the most violent Jack in a Box I've ever heard.
You wouldn't put it past me, though.
I wouldn't put it past you. You're my team captain. I know what you're capable of.
Okay, so it's a yes from you, Al. The Who is going in the Builders playlist.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Get it? Woohoo! Oh, I've made some terrible Who puns. I've been thinking of Who songs that I can make puns with. Who let the dogs out? I'm Who dabba dee dabba die dabba dee dabba die.
Al, you are allowed to, of course, return the favour and fly over here to hear her.
Who made who?
Oh dear. Look, I'd like that, but people will kink shame me. Okay, stop. Right, so there we go. That's Rara. It's a hat trick this week. Every song has gone on the Builders
Not
playlist.
just a hat trick, we've got a bonus one too.
And the Who is on the Builders playlist. I'm happy for the rest of the season.
To be.
Honestly, I literally don't care for anything else for the rest of the season now. I'm just happy that the Who is officially on the Al Kindle approved Builders playlist.
You're welcome.
Right, so next week Al will be back, Rara will be back. Oh, of course I'll be back. I'm always bloody here. So get your suggestions in onto that Builders playlist thread on the Shunt Posting Facebook group. Mm-hmm. We still have plenty of BattleBots episodes to get through, and we're doing 3 songs a week. So there's plenty of room left. Come on, guys, send us in your suggestions.
That thread will stay alive throughout the entire series, as we've said in previous shows. What we'll do is we'll double check it just before every episode and pick out some good ones to go on.
We only have like 18 episodes left, so we got to get it all in right now.
Rather get it out of the way early.
Don't forget, you can also send out a troll song if you like. If it's sufficiently trolly enough, we will troll Al with it. So get those in too. Right, and on that note, it's goodbye from Al.
All right, guys. See you next week.
And it's bye from Rara.
Back into my hole.
Right, and Dale should be back with a nice cup of tea for me any moment now.
Hi, I'm back. I brought you a slug.
A slug. Cheers, mate. Just what I wanted.
I thought it would help with the meme of the week.
It might do.
Is that not any good? No.
No, not for meme of the week, but I'll think of meme of the week anyway. My personal favourite this week, and I hope you agree with me, is by group member Daniel Peake, and we're going to affectionately call it the Megatit meme.
Yes.
It is the woman screaming at cat meme, but it instead depicts the woman screaming Megit, which is one of Whiplash's sponsors, but instead it's been dyslexically read as Megatit.
Yes, I had made that mistake.
It tickled me, I must admit.
Yes.
So well done, Daniel Peake. You win the Meme of the Week award for an episode 1 meme.
Woo-hoo. Congrats, well done.
And that leaves us with the Farukalicious. There's only one for Farukalicious this week, and it's Ghost Raptor.
Oh no, I disagree completely.
Okay, what's yours?
Mine's Hydra.
Oh no, Ghost Raptors was so good.
It was until Hydra. Honestly, it was going to win until Hydra won. Flipped you all over from London to Boston, stun you like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line because Hydra said so. I even wrote it down.
Oh my god, no.
I loved it. That was brilliant.
I won the coin toss last week. We can't coin toss again. What can we do this week to settle this?
Right, if I just say please, let me have this week. I'll let you have next week.
Oh, well, on the basis that Ghost Raptor's performance wasn't good and Hydra's performance was better, all right, I'll side with you and go Hydra.
Yay.
Woo! Congratulations, Hydra.
Oh, yeah,
you won
Hydra.
a salty judge's decision and the Farukalicious award. Woo!
Yay. Well done.
Well done.
Well done, yes, that's the one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that just about wraps up this week's Shuntcast for BattleBots episode 2. Thank you, as ever, for joining us. Of course, don't forget to drop your music suggestions on the Builders playlist for Al Kindle. And we will have a post next week ready for next week's guest for you to submit your fan questions to. Thank you, of course, to all our fans who submitted them for this week. And on that note, it's goodbye from Dale.
Bye-bye.
And it's goodbye from the Queen. Goodbye.